In Germany and Austria, the situation for the ordinary people was going from bad to worse. Since 1916, they had suffered severe shortages of everything, including food. But for the soldiers, there was some hope. A revolution in October 1917 took Russia out of the war, so Germany no longer had to fight on two fronts. All their troops could be sent to the west. The German commander, General Ludendorff, saw that it was Germany's last chance. He decided to launch a massive attack on the Allies, which he believed would break the stalemate and win the war. Rudolf Binding was one of 1 million German soldiers secretly assembled along a 50-mile stretch near to the Somme.
The troops are packed in positions so tight that those in the front have been there for the last 10 days. For weeks past, ammunition has been hauled and hauled night after night to be piled in mountains round the guns. All that is to be poured out on the enemy. Tomorrow, there will be nothing to keep secret, for then hell breaks loose.
At 4:40 a.m. on March the 21st, 1918, German artillery began firing. In just 4 hours, over 1 million shells, many of them filled with poison gas, fell on the British lines. Specially trained groups of German stormtroopers, armed with machine guns and flamethrowers, broke through the British lines. Robert Cude was a message runner in the British Army.
All wounded have to be left. It has been a nightmare, and one that I do not want again. He shells us all day. And in the afternoon, he gives us a touch of his gas. It is extraordinary in its intensity. I was on the ground writhing in agony. I was quite prepared for the finish.
In 4 days, the German army advanced 14 miles, the greatest gain of territory since the stalemate of 1914. 90,000 Allied soldiers were taken prisoner. Over the next 4 months, the Germans launched numerous attacks on the Allied lines. The German plan seemed to be working. But the Allies had prepared their defences, and for every Allied trench the Germans took, there was another one to conquer. Ludendorff became more desperate, throwing in every man he had. Australian Cyril Lawrence was at the battle. To him, all the Germans were Fritz.
The other day, Fritz made 13 attacks upon our little front. As usual, he came in mass. At one place, 7 waves, shoulder to shoulder. But all he got was a devil of a hiding. Our machine guns had the day of their lives. They all agree that it was simply murder. The bodies piled and piled up. Fritz's casualties must be enormous. I think it will be all over shortly. It cannot go on at this rate.
Now it was the Allies' turn to attack. The German army began to pull back. Many of the German soldiers were starving and stopped to loot food or surrender. The German leaders believed if the German army couldn't win this battle, then they couldn't win the war. The Kaiser was told that Germany was going to lose the war. The army had failed, and there were problems with the navy as well. The navy, with its expensive ships, had only left port once during the whole war. All the sailors were bored and felt badly treated. In October, when everyone realized that the war was coming to an end, the German fleet was ordered to sea to fight. The sailors didn't see any point in risking their lives now when peace was so close. They mutinied. Seaman Richard Stumpf had started the war as a loyal supporter of the Kaiser.
Now the revolution has arrived. This morning I heard the first flutter of its wings. It came like lightning. It descended with one fell swoop and now holds all of us in its grip. Germany must get rid of the Kaiser, end the war, and to become a real democracy.
The revolt spread from the ships to the docks, and from the docks to the streets of Germany's cities. The Kaiser and Ludendorff both fled abroad. Germany was in chaos. German High Command asked for a ceasefire before their country was invaded, but the Allies demanded Germany's surrender. The armistice began on the 11th of November, 1918.